I went out and shot with the Nikon Z6 II and the Nikkor 28mm 2.8 lens. It's very plastic fantastic. It's very light. It's very easy to travel with. So those are my great things I'm saying about this lens. First of all, that it's really light and compact. So walk around with the lens every day. It's no stress at all because it's so light. You can also shoot this in APS-C mode and in DX mode or whatever you want to call it, and you'll get about a 42mm length. So if you need a little extra reach, you can do that. But remember, there's a crop factor involved in that. So I don't like to get real technical with the stuff that I do, so I just want to see, does it take really good pictures? So even though it's not an S-line lens or anything like that, I do think it takes really good pictures. For the most part, most people are consuming their content on their phone, so they won't be able to really pixel peep anyway. So I'm going to let the video roll now, the things that I shot while out. So I'm out at LaFont Plaza in Washington, D.C., and I'm with the Nikkor 28mm 2.8 on the Nikon Z6 II. So it's a very light lens, and hopefully we'll see if we get some good shots today. It's starting to rain, so maybe we'll get some mood, complete overcast, but we'll start shooting and see what we get. Now I'm under the underpass of LaFont Plaza, and I'm gonna see if I can get some low lights under this bridge, and we'll see how the 28mm handles that. So let's get to it. So I moved from underneath the bridge to on top of the bridge. So behind me is the Spy Museum, and I'll show you that in a minute. And right now it's really, really cold. And also I'm anemic, so my fingers are really, really cold right now. But let's see what we can get. I've been there many times here in DC, and it's a really good place, and I really, really love it. So I'm gonna take some pictures of it on the outside, and we'll see what we can get. I brought out my filter so that way I can save the highlights and the shadows at the same time instead of the background being blown out. But I'm here at the archives, and we'll see what we can get. I should probably invest in a lavalier mic too, so we'll see how it sounds when I get back to the house and edit this video, which is not going to be very good because I've been cold all day, but we'll see how it goes. So currently I'm at 7th and Madison. I'm still in LaFont Plaza. Right down there is the Capitol building. That's what we're taking a picture of in just a second. So, I'm in front of the archives building right now, as you can see. And I'm gonna take a picture of the door and the columns up there. And let's see what we can. loading. Yeah, bad loading. And I'm just taking pictures with it. Let's go. I just swapped out the camera lens at the beginning of the video on the Nikon Z6. I was shooting with the Viltrox 35mm 1.8, so I just swapped it out for the Nikkor 28mm at 2.8. You can see it's much wider. I just want to see how the video looks because I haven't really used this for video that much actually. So I want to see how it looks. So I didn't change too many settings. Actually, I didn't change any settings other than the light, and I moved some other lights back because it was in a frame. So right now we'll see how this looks, and that's about it. So the one thing about the Nikon cameras or the full frame cameras is that there is no flippy screen. So I have no idea what my composition looks like if I'm doing vlogging. I don't do vlogging all that often, but if I want to record myself taking pictures. So this time while I was out, I took two cameras with me. I took the Nikon Z6 and a Nikon Z6 II. I shot everything for photo-wise on a Nikon Z6 II, and I filmed myself on a Nikon Z6 I. What I used was a snap bridge. So there's some pros and cons of that. So one, I never got enough equipment out with me to actually properly use the snap bridge feature. So I brought the Nikon Z6 on the Peak Design tripod and had a small rig cage, and I noticed that I'm going to do this. So I had my phone in my hand to see, if I was in focus and everything, which was great. But I didn't bring another piece to put on top of the camera cage, so I can just put on top of the camera so I can see that I was in focus and use it that way. Since I always have my phone with me, it's not a big deal. I have to remember to bring a piece to attach the small rig camera to a small rig cage, so that way I can properly see if I'm in focus and see how my composition is. So that's my way around of not having a flip screen. But that doesn't mean sometimes that I want to carry two cameras with me all the time, though. So there is that. So I'll try to figure out a Dre rig system that'll work for me. Now back to the review of the lens. Very plastic, fantastic. But it's very light. The build, it's better than what you think, but it still is plastic. So like, the bayonet mount is plastic. Everything about this lens is plastic. And look at that. Everything about this lens is plastic. But it's very nice to carry around. And I shot this on my Nikon Z6 too. I also shot this when I was in Chicago, so I'll put some pictures up right now about Chicago. And you can see those pictures right now. But how in DC it was great, I think 28mm sometimes might not be wide enough, but to walk around just to get some architecture shooting or some street photography in, or wherever, if you're just traveling, I think this is a really, really good lens to have. So what do I think about it? It's not going to blow your mind with image quality and sharpness and all of those things, but for the most part, you're not going to know. Most people are not going to know that because they're looking at these things on a really small screen on their phones, most likely. But if you do blow it up, for the most part, people are really not going to look at pixel peep. They're going to look at the composition of your image. What's drawn them into that image. So before anything else, I think sharpness and contrast, all that stuff, sometimes is a little overrated. Other than that, though, I had a really good time shooting with this lens.